Hello, I'm Ricky Lee, and welcome to the Capital Compass. Today, we're speaking with Globex Mining, a company that takes a very different approach to mineral exploration and development, one built on scale, diversification, and optionality. Globex holds more than 200 mineral properties spanning dozens of commodities across multiple jurisdictions. That breadth not only spreads risk for investors, but also gives early exposure to minerals that often don't hit the mainstream until years later. The company is well funded, revenue positive, and actively adding value across its portfolio through royalties, options, joint ventures, and strategic acquisitions. Joining me now to walk us through the Globex model and recent activity is David Christie, President and COO of Globex Mining. David, welcome to the Capital Compass.
Thank you, Ricky.
So, David, Globex is unique in that you own over 200 mineral assets across a wide range of commodities. How does that level of diversification lower risk for investors compared to a more traditional single asset explorer?
Well, it gives investors the ability to participate in many commodities and in many jurisdictions. And also, because of the way we run our business, it gives them the ability to participate in our partners' exploration activities and not just ours. So it gives them much more exposure to a lot of exploration going on that Globex shareholders are not paying for.
Amazing. And one of the advantages of your model is that Globex often holds exposure to minerals before they become fashionable, as it were. So whether that's lithium, antimony, or other strategic metals, how does that long-term optionality-driven approach benefit shareholders?
Well, I think because we acquire things very inexpensively when they're not in favor, when they become in favor and we option those properties out or we explore them ourselves, the value in the work that we do on those projects or our partners do on those projects becomes worth a lot more than what we paid for the project. So that goes right to the share price and value for shareholders.
And Globex is well capitalized and generates revenue, which isn't always the case in this sector. So, how important is that financial strength when it comes to acquiring new assets and negotiating favorable option or royalty deals?
Well, because we make money, we have a balance sheet. We have over $40 million in the bank in cash and securities. We haven't done a rollback since 1980. When we started the company in 1987, there's been no rollbacks, and we've done very few equity issues over the years, so very little bit of dilution. So when there's value in the shares the day you buy them, that value just continues to increase as we continue to do work on those projects.
Great. And so you've also had a busy start to the year, right? With updates across several projects, including high-grade antimony results at Bald Hill, lithium exposure through Brunswick, and final drill results from Rouyn-Merger. How do these recent developments reflect the way value is created across the Globex portfolio?
Well, I think they're all very good examples of how we create value. The lithium project with the Mirage in Brunswick, that was a project that we optioned out years ago before lithium really became a big thing, and now lithium's stepped back a bit. But that's a huge new resource in the James Bay area for lithium. The antimony projects, we acquired those when no one cared about antimony, and now people care about antimony, well, about all critical minerals. And our two partners on those are progressing quite well on those two projects and doing really good work. So that's adding huge value to Globex shareholders and to the net asset value of the company. The one company, Antimony Resources, will come up with a resource on their antimony resource there in the coming months, and Albright Resources will have a gold resource because it's a gold and antimony project in the next year. So both are very good.
And as markets increasingly focus on critical and strategic minerals, where do you see the greatest opportunity for Globex over the near to medium term, and what should investors be looking out for?
Well, we are very exposed to gold and precious minerals, with over half of our royalties and half of our projects. We have 269 mineral assets, about 107 of those are royalties, and on both sides, we're half gold exposed. But the other half is base metals and critical minerals and other materials. And so we're very exposed to those. We did an option deal on our Virgin Mountain project, which is a rare earth project in Arizona this past year, and we'll continue to do more of those. We're exposed to antimony, as we mentioned. We have a magnesium project, which is a world-class deposit in the Timmins area, which we're trying to push forward. So lots of things, very exposed on the critical minerals and on the kind of minerals that people are really looking for right now in the world.
Wow. Well, David, thank you so much for joining us and walking us through the Globex mining story.
You're welcome.
For more information, you can visit globexmining.com. That's all for this episode of The Capital Compass. I'm Ricky Lee. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next time.